If you've ever felt stuck in a toxic relationship but couldn't walk away, even when it was hurting you, that's not love, that's trauma bonding. And it's not your fault, but it is controlling your life more than you think. You might still care about them. You might even feel guilty for thinking about leaving. But if a connection leaves you anxious, small, or constantly questioning your worth, that's not connection, that's survival. Trauma bonding can keep you tied to people who hurt you, not because you're weak, but because your nervous system is trying to protect you the only way it knows how. In this video, we'll gently explore how trauma bonds form, why they're so hard to break, and how you can begin to untangle yourself with clarity, not shame. Let's start with this. Trauma bonding isn't a weakness. It's a response. It's how your nervous system tries to survive chaos, but over time, that survival mechanism becomes the very thing keeping you stuck. So, what is trauma bonding really? Trauma bonding happens when the same person who hurts you also becomes the person you look to for comfort. It creates a cycle of pain and relief, and your brain starts to confuse that chaos for connection. This usually looks like being mistreated or emotionally hurt, then receiving moments of kindness, affection, or apology, feeling hopeful, like maybe they really do care, only to be hurt again. And the cycle repeats. That back and forth creates confusion in your brain, and even addiction. Yes, actual addiction. When someone causes pain and then offers relief, it spikes your cortisol, stress hormone, and dopamine, reward chemical. Over time, you don't just crave the person, you crave the relief after the pain. It's the same mechanism behind gambling addiction. Pain, hope, reward, repeat. That's why it feels impossible to leave, even when every part of you knows it's not healthy. Let's walk through a real-life scenario. Imagine someone is in a relationship where their partner constantly criticizes them, picking apart their words, their clothes, their decisions. It hurts, but then, out of nowhere, that same partner suddenly becomes soft and sweet again. They say things like, "You know, I just want what's best for you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. You're the only one who really understands me." And for a moment, it feels safe again. The anxiety fades. The connection feels real. You want to believe this is the real version of them, the one who loves you. So you stay, even when the cycle repeats again tomorrow. That's trauma bonding. You're not addicted to the person, you're addicted to the cycle. Here's where things get harder. Trauma bonds don't only happen in romantic relationships. They can happen with a parent who was loving one day, cruel the next, a boss who praises you, then belittles you, a friend who confides in you deeply, then suddenly shuts you out, a sibling who plays the victim while manipulating your guilt. The deeper issue is, when you're trauma bonded, you mistake intensity for intimacy. The highs are so high, the lows so low, that calm relationships start to feel boring or suspicious. So the problem becomes this: even when a safe relationship enters your life, you push it away, you doubt it, you chase the chaos instead, not because you want to, but because your nervous system is wired to expect it. And here's the real challenge. Most people don't even know they're in a trauma bond. They just think they're loyal, or in love, or trying to fix someone. But love without safety isn't love, it's survival. So how do you break a trauma bond? This isn't about cutting people off overnight or suddenly changing your brain chemistry. It's about slowly, intentionally, and consistently pulling your nervous system out of chaos and into clarity. Let's break it down. 1. Name it. The first step is awareness. You have to call it what it is, a trauma bond. Not loyalty, not love, not meant to be. It's a cycle of harm and relief. Once you see the pattern, you stop personalizing the pain. You realize this isn't about you being not enough. It's about the bond being unhealthy. Second, track the cycle. Start noticing the pattern in your dynamic. When do they hurt you? When do they apologize? How long does the good phase last before it resets? How do you feel in your body before, during, and after? Write it down. Document it. This creates emotional distance and helps you see it like a loop, not a love story. 3. Learn to regulate your nervous system. Trauma bonds are felt in the body. When the other person pulls away, your body panics. Your chest tightens. You can't sleep. You want to text, call, fix it. This is withdrawal, not connection. Learning to sit with those feelings without reaching out is the beginning of healing. Try breath work, grounding exercises, feet on the floor, describing the room around you. Journaling, movement or shaking out the anxiety. Talking to someone who sees things clearly. You're not breaking a habit, you're reprogramming your safety. 4. Challenge the beliefs that keep you stuck. Ask yourself, what am I scared of losing if I let go? Do I believe I deserve healthy love? What am I trying to fix that was never mine to fix? Trauma bonding often keeps you stuck in the role of the fixer, the caretaker, the peacemaker, roles you probably learned early in life. But you don't have to earn love through pain. You are worthy of love that doesn't hurt, confuse, or exhaust you. 5. Create new emotional blueprints. Start seeking out relationships that feel calm, respectful, and consistent. At first, they might feel boring, too easy, too safe. But over time, your nervous system will start to settle. The chaos will stop feeling like home, and safety will start to feel peaceful. That's how you know you're healing. Here's the moment everything changes. When you realize that love doesn't have to hurt, you start grieving the version of you that thought it did. You stop confusing anxiety for connection. You stop calling red flags passion. You stop mistaking trauma for loyalty, and you begin choosing peace. Not because it's easy, but because it's what you actually deserve. And that moment, right there, that's freedom. You don't need anyone to save you from the trauma bond. You need to stop abandoning yourself inside of it. Every time you choose not to respond to manipulation, every time you sit with the discomfort instead of chasing the apology, every time you say, "This doesn't feel like love," even when it's hard, you are breaking the bond. You are rebuilding trust with yourself, and you're moving from survival to clarity. Let's pull it all together. Trauma bonding is a powerful emotional trap, but it's not permanent. It thrives in confusion, chaos, and self-abandonment. But when you start recognizing the patterns, learning to regulate your emotions, and challenging the beliefs keeping you stuck, you break the cycle. Here's what to remember. Trauma bonding feels like love, but it's actually fear. The cycle of harm and relief wires your brain into confusion. Staying doesn't mean you're weak. It means your nervous system is trying to feel safe. Healing happens when you learn to sit with discomfort, name the pattern, and choose peace. You don't have to prove your worth through pain. You are allowed to walk away from relationships that make you question your reality. You are allowed to want calm. You are allowed to want safe. You are allowed to want more. And if that's something no one ever showed you, you're allowed to believe it now. You are not hard to love. You were just taught to accept pain as proof of it. I truly hope this spoke to something deep in you today. You deserve to heal in peace, not in pieces. So if you're on your own path to emotional clarity, please consider liking the video and subscribe if you're ready to keep walking gently toward yourself. And when you're ready, the next video is right there waiting for you.